Hi everyone, Joey here. Excel is a very common tool. Students use it, professionals also use it. I have been working in the past 10 years and I use it almost every day at work. In this video, I want to share with you 10 Excel tips that I wish I knew at the beginning of my career, and I hope they could be useful to you as well. Alright, let's jump right into it. The first one is control. With control plus arrow keys, we can easily navigate to the end of a row or a column. Right now, my active cell is A1. If I want to go to the end of the header row, I can simply press Ctrl plus right arrow. To go back, press Ctrl plus left arrow. Same thing for the column. I can press Ctrl plus down arrow to go to the bottom of the column, and press Ctrl plus up arrow to go back to A1. I can also press Ctrl plus End to go to the bottom right corner of the table. To go back to the top left corner, simply press Ctrl plus Home. Second one is Shift. With Shift, we can easily select multiple cells, columns, or rows. If I want to select A1 to A3, hold Shift, press down arrow twice. If I want to select from A1 to C3, hold on Shift, press down arrow twice, and then right arrow twice. Third one is a combo of Ctrl plus Shift. With that, we can easily select an entire row or a column. Right now, if I press Ctrl plus Shift plus right arrow, I can select the first row. Same thing to select the first column, Ctrl Shift plus down arrow. Number 4 is a few additional ways to use Ctrl or Shift. Right now, if I want to select the first row, I can simply press Shift plus space. Same thing, if I want to select the entire column A, I just need to select a cell in column A with or without data, and then press Ctrl plus space. And if I press Ctrl and Shift together and then hit space, I will be able to select the entire table. If I do it again, Ctrl Shift space, I will select the entire sheet. Another way to do it is using Ctrl plus A. A means all. I can press it once to select the entire table, press it again to select the entire sheet. If you don't feel like using keyboard, you can also use mouse. To select an entire column, move your cursor at the top until it shows a black down arrow, and then simply left click. Same thing to select the entire row, move to the left and then simply left click. To select the entire worksheet, move to the top left corner, right here, and then left click. The next one is copy paste. Typically we use Ctrl plus C to copy, but there are two ways to paste. We can use Ctrl plus V or simply press Enter, but there's a difference. Let me show you. So here, let's just quickly create a new column. Let's just call it transaction fee. And let's just assume it's 2% of the transaction amount. I press Ctrl plus C to copy the formula. And by the way, Excel defaults copy to the formula if there is a formula in the cell. And then I can move to another cell and use Ctrl plus V to paste, and you see there is still a dash line around the original cell. That means the copy is still in memory, and I can go to another cell and still use Ctrl plus V to paste. What about the other way to paste with Enter? So let's try that. Let's simply hit Enter. The formula is also pasted, but then that dash line is gone, meaning the copied formula is no longer in the memory. And if we go to another cell and hit Enter again, nothing will be pasted. And here I also want to show you a few different ways if we want to paste the formula for the entire column. With mouse, we can move our cursor to the bottom right corner of the cell until it shows a black cross, and then double click. There is also another way using what we have just talked about. Ctrl C to copy, left arrow, and Ctrl plus down arrow to go to the bottom. right arrow to move to the column on the right. And then we can use ctrl+shift and up arrow to select the entire column. The last step is simply pressing enter, and then the formula will be pasted to the entire column. Number 6 is paste special. Excel will default paste to formula, but sometimes we want to copy-paste values, format, or even column width. Let's copy the entire column at first. We can use mouse to paste special. Let's select cell G2 and right-click and find the paste special, left-click. It will show all the options in the paste special. But there is a quicker way to do it with keyboard. Typically, there is a key on the keyboard that represents the right click of your mouse. It will look like this. So let's find that and press it. And then hit S twice. It will bring up the same paste special window. And here, let's do paste special as values. We can use down arrow, hit it twice, and then hit enter. Number 7 is reference. So reference is about the formulas in Excel, and there are two types of references, absolute reference and relative reference. Excel will default to relative reference. For example, right now in front of us, we have a 3x3 table. Let's create a formula first, equals A1. And if we don't do anything and just copy paste the entire table, it will be a relative reference and it will create an exact same table. But we can also use absolute reference, meaning the value will not change. There are two ways to do that. First, we can manually add $ signs in front of the column and the row, but we can also use F4 to do that. So let's do the formula again, but this time let's hit F4 once. It will automatically add $ signs for us. And then let's do copy paste. Then we get all the same value for the new table. We can also do a mix of absolute reference and a relative reference. Let's erase the table. Let's do it again. Add the formula equals A1. This time let's hit F4 twice. It will be relative reference on the column, but absolute reference on the row. Let's see what happens with that. Copy, paste. With absolute reference on the rows, all the rows will have the same values. Same thing if we do the absolute reference on the columns, all the columns will have the same values. Next one is a quick tip about editing text in Excel. Sometimes we use Excel to track projects and we would manually type in comments or updates. What if we find some typos? Here in cell C2, we see some typos. It should be roadblocks rather than roadblocks. To fix that, we can use mouse to navigate to the location where we want to do the edit and double click. But if you don't feel like using mouse and want to stick with your keyboard, you can use your arrow keys to navigate to the cell and simply press F2 and then use arrow keys again to navigate to the location where you want to make the edits. There you go, it's fixed. The last two tips will be related to formatting. The number 9 is conditional formatting. So with conditional formatting, we can add some quick visualizations to our tables. Like here, we have a table that shows a monthly spend and transaction volume. Let's select all the spend first and go to conditional formatting. We can use highlight sales rules. Let's say it's greater than 3,000. It will highlight the sales that's higher than the threshold we set up earlier. We can also use some other options here, like a data bar here. It will add the gradient or solid bars. in the same cells that represent the size of those values. There are a couple other options, but if you quickly explore for a couple minutes, you will find the best option that suits your need. The last one is sparklines. Before we add a sparklines, let's do some quick data transpose. We can use keyboard, press ctrl+home, and then ctrl+shift plus right arrow, down arrow, ctrl+c copy, and then move to a blank area. We can use keyboard quickly navigate to paste special. And then select transpose, OK. Here, let's add some quick sparklines. Let's select all the span here. Go to insert, sparklines. Let's see what the line sparklines look like. It will show a quick trend chart or a line chart on the right. And let's do it again. Select all the volume, but this time let's do the column sparklines. It will show a mini bar chart on the right. So sparklines are just like mini line charts or bar charts, but they are quite useful and can add some nice visualizations to your tables. Okay, last one, there is a bonus tip. So how do we quickly email the Excel sheet? Like typically, we have to open up a new email and then attach the Excel to that email, but we can do it within the Excel workbook. On the top left corner, there is some shortcut buttons. Just check on the email, and then an icon will show up on the left. Click on that email, and then it will automatically generate a new email with the Excel workbook attached. Okay, so that wraps up our video today. I hope you found it useful, and I'd be really happy if you start using some of it the next time you use Excel. Comment down below if you have any questions, otherwise I will see you in the next video. Bye!